Yes, cheers.
To Charlie Kirk.
To Charlie Kirk.
So,
if you aren't aware by now, I think most
Right.
people in this nation are aware of what happened
um,
on the 10th.
and
And I know we don't usually post serious.
this is we're not usually political on Bolshevik Brothers, but and this isn't even necessarily political, but we're doing this episode in honor of Charlie Kirk, and you know, I mean, I didn't watch him that much, but you know, it's just freaking terrible to see something like that happen.
Yeah. I had grown to watch his stuff more in the past couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
And the message that he brought and the views that he shared, I didn't 100% agree with everything that he said, but for the most part, where he was, it was clear that he was a good person overall, and that he was sharing and spreading the word of God, even despite some of the ways that people have tried to treat him.
And it was sad because he's, I mean, like, this might be kind of stupid, but like, you know, 2 weeks ago, this guy was, you know, celebrating about being, you know, featured or referenced on South Park, and like he was a young guy. He was 31, and I was like, that's 8 years older than me and Ree, and that's a decent gap, but that's not a huge gap. Like he was freaking young.
He was very young,
and his two kids are like toddlers still, and that they're gonna
grow up not knowing what happened per se. I mean, there's some,
and there was reports that his family, his wife and kids were there in the audience when that happened. I don't know if that's true, but that's freaking messed up if that was true.
That's devastating.
But even then, the toddlers don't understand what's going on.
I mean, that's even more messed up in some ways.
Yeah. And
can you imagine a little 2-year-old asking their mom, "When's Daddy coming home?" and
you don't know what to say. What can you say? I mean, when something that messed up happens,
it doesn't feel real. Like I heard about it like minutes after it happened, and there was that half an hour or so where it was like, I mean, yeah, I saw where he was shot, and I'm like,
it's over.
I don't have, I can't hope. I don't have that kind of hope, but like, there was that bit of not knowing, and then it was actually you that texted me at work, because I had to go to work while I was still in that area of not knowing, and you know, praying for him, and you texted and said that he had passed.
Yeah, I was at work, and my father, because he also followed Charlie Kirk a lot, and a lot of his content, he texted me at work, and at first the feeling was so surreal, because it didn't feel like something like that could happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the shock set in after a while,
and if you were like, this is one of those things where I'm always going to remember where I was. Like, it's like, because I was too young. I mean, I wasn't too young. I wasn't born yet when 9/11 happened.
Right.
It's like this, and then the attempt on Trump's life are like two things that I'm always going to remember where I was when I first got that news.
I remember I received the text right as I was about to leave work, or well, noticed the text from my dad right as I was about to leave work, and I got back to where we sign out for clocking out at the end of the day. Some of my coworkers had pulled up the video of the actual
And
assassination.
if you've seen the close-up video,
It's graphic.
it's
disturbing.
It's disturbing. Like, in a weird way, I'm glad I seen it, just to like,
I think
just so that I could be disturbed by it. And
I
I don't know how to say that in a way that doesn't
Yeah.
sound psychopathic, but
I think it's hard to say it's good, but I think that people need to see
right.
it
I'm
so
not
they
I'm not
understand.
saying it's good. I'm
Yeah.
saying I'm glad I saw it.
Yeah.
In
It's not
a way
good
that's
that you
like
had to see it, but
going
it is.
to make me
I think
feel the reality of that sort of
Yeah.
thing.
I think that if you can stomach it, it is something that you probably should.
I wouldn't say go out and see it. I'd say
Because
if you saw it when it happened, like,
yeah,
obviously that video
matter what.
should be taken down. I don't want, Charlie Kirk's kids growing up saying that.
right.
But like in the moment when it was happening, for those who saw it, I think
I think they need
in
to
some
see-
ways, and depending on the person, because there's psychos who like go on like crazy dark web gore websites and
watch that stuff.
see that stuff, and that's a whole freaking. I mean, there's been serial killers that have come from that pipeline,
Yeah.
but like,
as disturbing and upsetting as it is, I think that the general public did need to see it when it happened, because it shows just how messed up it was. It shows how disturbing it was, and that's a shock that people
Like-
need to feel. It's not okay that this happened.
and it hit him in his carotid artery
Yeah.
/ jugular vein, one or both.
A very important blood vessel.
So, again, if you haven't seen it, don't go see it.
Yeah.
But like, imagine what someone getting shot in their jugular vein looks like, and then like multiply that by like 4. It was a lot of blood, and it was, really disturbing. And there's
sorry.
there's no there's just no justification for that. Like, it's crazy because they call him a fascist, but if they're willing to kill him for his beliefs, for his words, they're willing to kill half the country. Because Charlie Kirk was the moderate position. Like,
Yeah.
he wasn't an extremist. He expressed views that lots of people on the right are not comfortable expressing. But he wasn't extreme.
Yeah, not by any means. And I think a lot of people look through the lens of malice and hate that they are programmed to see. And until this happened, this wake-up call, there's a lot of people who are fine with running their beliefs the way they are
Yeah.
and their political views. And then there are now a lot of people that the shell shock of this has shifted where they're at because they don't want to be part of that. They don't want to be associated with some group of people that are that far gone, that are that far, that they're willing to kill people over their political beliefs or willing to kill people over their beliefs in general.
But the sad thing is to see so many people galvanized in the opposite direction and
taking
going full
pleasure
support
of
this,
yeah.
and it's.
I don't care what your political view is or who you are. Short of being a straight up homicidal serial killer or a dictator that's killed millions of people, I don't care who you are. Apart from those things, nobody deserves that.
And like,
especially not somebody who hasn't done any harm or wrongdoing to people. They just shared the truth. They just shared their political views.
And if you're on the left, we don't expect you to react the same way that someone on the right would. We just expect you to act like a human. I mean, expect is a strong word. We wish you would react like a human.
Yeah.
You know, have like
taking pleasure in somebody else getting assassinated, murdered is despicable. It's foul.
It's you like for the first little while you went on X, all of the posts were in support of Charlie and stuff, but like today you go through,
there's a
like
alarming
70% of posts you see, at least on my timeline. Maybe there's something wrong with the posts I've seen because of the way X works and how it shows you stuff that you engage with, and that's what's so toxic about X really, is that it doesn't differentiate between positive comments and negative comments. So if you reply to a post, it's going to show you more posts like that, even if it's something that you absolutely despise and don't like seeing.
Yeah. I think YouTube's pretty similar in their algorithm.
YouTube is... So the thing with YouTube is YouTube has likes and dislikes.
Fair enough.
X just has likes and replies.
Yeah. Well, and even under some of the YouTube shorts I've seen that are putting Charlie Kirk in a positive light and mentioning all of his great achievements and the things that he did, there's still plenty, like large majority of the comments on those videos that are very negative and very supportive of the person who killed Kirk.
And
some people who are blatantly saying that they're ecstatic that he got shot, which is messed up. If you can sit there and stomach what happened and then say that you're glad that it happened, I don't know how to help you.
What do you do with something like that? Like,
I don't know.
Yes. I've seen people celebrate his death. It's just like, why? He's messed up. A person has died.
I'm going to be frank. It's straight up disturbing that we live in a country with people like that. I don't know who you are. Like, I don't know what your political views are, but if you can agree with me that that is messed up, that is disturbing, that those kind of people exist in our country and that are walking alongside us, that they're willing to take pleasure in a innocent person being shot.
Yes. Even like, I do agree that freedom of speech is supposed to be fully allowed, but respect the dead, respect the people who are
like,
injured.
Basic human decency. Like,
yeah, while you're over here saying this on Twitter, or sorry, X, whatever it's called now, or YouTube, that you're happy that Charlie Kirk died or got shot, your freedom of speech isn't being prohibited. Charlie Kirk didn't get that luxury. Charlie Kirk got shot for the things he believed in.
That's another one.
Charlie Kirk was assassinated because he spread the truth, because he spread what was right. Yeah. And just because one person didn't agree with him and was radical enough to take it to that extreme, Charlie Kirk's no longer discussed. And if we live in a country where that can happen, then we're going to be on a very, very dark turn in the history of our nation, I feel like.
I'll keep yours in the fridge until
Something
you're finished with that one. Yeah. Like, that's why my takeaway from this has been, they can't kill all of us.
Right.
Like,
Well, first off,
They can't kill all of us.
And a good-
I cheer to that.
Another good point somebody brought up is Charlie wasn't alone. Charlie's not alone. We're all here.
yeah.
We all have that legacy to carry on. He started a mission. He started a good thing in this country, and it is up to us to continue it.
Yeah. I mean, if you're willing to celebrate that, then you've got
Mental issues.
I don't even know if mental issues begins to.
Like,
I don't
remote
know
sum it up.
I don't know what's higher than that.
somebody was saying, like, if he thinks he's bad, like, wait till he meets me, wait till he meets my uncle. Like, I'm not.
I don't know if that's something to be bragging about. Right?
Oh, okay.
Like,
I'm not gonna say it.
and not in a sense that we're like extreme, but like
Yeah.
he was moderate. He was very
Yeah, he was very.
he was very kind, and people would be like, oh, Charlie Kirk, he would like even people that were like trying to or disguising their remarks in a sympathetic way would be like, oh, he debated ill-prepared college students. It's like, nobody forced them to debate him.
Right.
They came up there voluntarily, probably because they think they weren't ill-prepared. And maybe if they were ill-prepared, it was because they were wrong.
I watched so many debates like this, just stupid thing and stupid that, but most of it is all true. And when Kirk comes up and says something about the debate, he takes control of everything, and it's really good. He gives a really, really good
And the
explanation of everything.
The reaction from a lot of these people is immediate. It's become reflexive. It's like a trained reflex for some of these people to just be like, oh, maybe it was a fan, maybe it was a Republican. Like that, there was that one MSNBC anchor that was like, oh, we don't know, it might have been a fan shooting off a gun in celebration. Like, sure.
Yeah.
Sure, bud. No. Look, you can distance yourself from the assassin without trying to point the finger at the other side.
Right.
And I don't know.
Also, I think it's.
So I said, sorry, you were saying.
You can finish your thoughts.
I was gonna say. So I said my main takeaway was they can't kill all of us. I guess my other one would be, let's do what Charlie did, and let's, like, when we get into debates, I want to bring it to
a middle ground.
To a middle ground. I don't want dumb Twitter arguments, back and forth, stupid, petty garbage. I want, like, when I get into a disagreement with someone, I'll be like, hey, freaking, let's go move to Discord, start a freaking voice call, and, like, interact as humans, not just anonymous
Throwing hate at each other.
Yeah. Like, we have, a lot of people are saying this is a turning point. Like, either we turn from a dark age in American history, American political history, to a darker age, or we turn from a dark age into something better. And, like,
I think
we can't escalate this thing.
Right. I think the scary part is that is still an unknown.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the only thing we can do, and like I said, we don't tend to share our political or religious beliefs as much on this channel.
Yeah, not on this channel.
But
My channel.
yeah, your
I
channel.
I have other channels for that. Bolshevik Brothers is supposed to be fun, but it's not fun today.
Yeah. I think that the only thing we can do in times of crisis like this is to pray, is to put ourselves in a position where we are ready for the next step for what God has in place. And I don't know where you're at in life or who you are, like what your religious beliefs are, but the power of prayer is strong. We oftentimes sweep it under the rug, but God is powerful, and He's moving in this country.
Yeah. Like, I mean, even if you absolutely don't believe in prayer, if you don't believe in God, prayer works on the person praying as well. One, because you're submitting yourself to a higher power, but mainly because you're looking for the answers, you know? You are, I don't know. I guess, I mean, yeah, prayer works on the person praying, but like, also, you know, I'm Christian. I believe that there's a God who hears and He answers prayer, and we don't always understand what the answers look like or should look like, but, you know, right now we know in part, and then we will know fully as we are fully known.
Something I wanted to reflect upon, which I was going to bring up earlier, but I figured it was good to end out that thought, is it's important to take a moment to understand who Charlie was and what he stood for. Charlie Kirk was very much a person who enjoyed the pursuit of knowledge, enjoyed the pursuit of making himself the best version of himself. So his desire to understand fully led to him being willing to hear people out even if he didn't agree with them. His ideology at the core, his principle, was that if you had a different opinion, or even if you had a different idea and he's never heard it before, he wanted to hear you out. Because he wanted to, if he was wrong, he wanted to know he was wrong.
Yeah. The format he was assassinated at, this format of that event, was called Prove Me Wrong. Killing someone doesn't prove them wrong.
Right. And
he was a martyr. Like, just objectively, martyr comes from the Greek word for witness. He was out there witnessing. He bore witness to the problem of political violence.
Right.
All right, at the very least, give him that.
Yeah. And the core thing that, and there's even videos out there of him saying it, is that at the end of the day, he said if and when he died, that what he wanted to be known for was his faith. And I think he achieved that. I think he achieved letting God be in charge of his life and letting God be the one who dictates his life. He may not have lived his life perfectly, he may not have always done the best, but I believe he strongly followed after what God's will was for him. And he made disciples of many people. He turned many people towards the Lord. He genuinely cared about other people, genuinely cared about their well-being. In fact, he cared about their well-being so much that he wanted to see this country better so that people could have a place to live, afford a place to live, afford to have freedom of speech, and afford to share their political views with others without being at risk of being a martyr like he was.
But no one is allowing it. Everyone's complaining.
Yeah.
If no one complains, well, we would have a better society.
Yeah, not entirely true.
Close enough.
So I think the main takeaway that we should all have, I'm not going to try and like force my opinion on you, force what I would say.
Go ahead.
But I think the takeaway that we need to think about at the end of the day is we should all live life under God's will and into God's will so that we can make more disciples of the nation.
And
make
there's
disciples of everybody.
I am sort of planning on making my own video on my own channel that'll get more into political. But I've seen so many people bring up a quote from Charlie about how a few gun deaths are an acceptable risk for the freedom of the right to bear arms, and they'd be like, "Oh, you don't feel like that now." Do you think he didn't know
The risk.
there was a risk? Do you think he didn't realize every time he showed his face in public that there was a chance? He knew, and he was willing to take that risk.
I think it's very convicting as well because Charlie even stated himself that if he died, it would be sharing truth and sharing God's word. And he did that. I think he did that to the fullest of his capabilities.
Yeah.
And I think it's convicting because I don't know if all of us, like especially me being Christian, I honestly don't know if I'd be willing to say the same. It's hard to say the same, that you'd be willing to die for your faith. But I think it is a place that we should all be convicted to think about. That are we willing to go as far as being a martyr for our faith?
A verse that I've been thinking about a lot in relation to this is in Daniel, when Daniel was being targeted for his religious beliefs. He was a perfect man, and the perfect man. The point was the people that were jealous of his success under King Darius said, they're like, hey, we've got nothing on this guy unless it concerns his God. And that is everything I've seen of people the core basis of what I've seen of people celebrating Charlie's death and reviling him after his death. And again, there's very little difference. Like, you can have disagreements with someone, but you're not gonna freaking say that when you're at their funeral, right? Like, so reviling someone after their death is different than having different opinions at someone, but it's not different than celebrating their death. If my freaking, okay, right, I've got some, issues with my parents, but I'm not gonna bring that up at their funeral, right? It's, I make no distinction there. But so many people are being like, reviling him for things he said in reference to the law of God, the Torah. And it's like, all I hear is, we've got nothing against this guy unless it has to do with his God.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah.
And hopefully our next episode is much more lighthearted. But when you see something like this happen
To Charlie.
to Charlie, when you see something like this happen, it's hard not to speak up about it. You can't just sit there and not say something about the
Yeah.
wrong that's happening.
Yeah, and I also I don't want there to be a perception that we're like trying to, capitalize off of this tragic event. Frankly, we were going to, it was my plan. I was coming out here and we were going to make a Bolshevik Brothers podcast anyway. And I just couldn't. I don't feel it's right to not address this.
Yeah.
Like, as long as there have been assassinations, there have been ballads about the people, the victims. And it's like, were those, I'm not... Point is, we're not trying to make this about us. We're trying to make this about Charlie. Sorry.
It's okay.
I don't know. I just...
Yeah.
There's just...
I don't think there's enough words that we could say about what happened.
Yeah, because words at the end of the day are just words. What we're trying to communicate is a sentiment of condolence, and to express that whatever differences you have with someone, people are comparing this to, killing Hitler. The difference between Charlie and Hitler, aside from the obvious fact that that their belief systems had nothing in common, Charlie was a podcaster, and a lot of people, it's crazy. It's crazy to see, because you have half the left saying, I don't want to demonize the entire left. Half of the people that are celebrating this are saying, he's just a podcaster. Why do we have to freaking honor him so much? And the other half is saying, he's Hitler. You know what? Hitler wasn't a podcaster. He was the damn dictator. He had the entire country under his thumb. He was in power. Charlie was just a guy
Sharing his beliefs.
debating on college campuses.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's...
Like I said, there's a lot that could be said. There's a lot that we haven't said. There's a lot that I'm sure many of us are thinking about and want to say. We don't know how to put it into words. But at the end of the day,
I do love to see how a lot of the country, and again, it's hard to tell because, I might be seeing too many of the wrong posts. But especially in the beginning, it was nice to see a lot of the country coming together and saying,
this is wrong.
this is wrong, he didn't deserve this, and we stand with Charlie. I saw 2 billboards on the drive out here. At least two that I noticed, saying "Rest in peace, Charlie." And you know, I don't think it's hyperbolic to say that he would have been president someday.
Oh, for sure.
He was huge at 31.
I can definitely see him as a president. He'll be a good one.
Yeah. And people saying some of his like some of his more I don't want to say more fringe because like in some ways they were right, but like some of his more far out views, like yeah, he might hold those views, but those weren't things he would have put into law if he was president. He wasn't a danger to anyone.
Right.
You know, I don't know.
I don't know either.
There is too much we don't know, and again, someday we'll know in full as we are fully known.
I know what I'm going to do. Though it may be small, but it will be a good sign of respect where later on in life, if I know where he is buried, I might just go and visit and pour him some whiskey. Even though you're gone, respect.
You know, we remember 9/11 every year. I'm gonna remember 9/11 and 9/10 every year. You know, and I don't know. I've got no words. God bless America. God bless Charlie Kirk.
Peace out.